Now, scones. If you've ever made scones before, what flour would you normally use? Plain flour, yeah. I don't. I use strong flour. I use bread flour. The reason for that is because, yes, you've got a problem essentially with gluten. Too much gluten in the flour will make the scone quite rubbery. But the trick is not to work the dough too much. Once you start, when I showed you that, and it was quite rough, that dough, if I was to take a scone to that level, it wouldn't be glutinous. It wouldn't be rubbery. It wouldn't, you know, it wouldn't stretch when you eat a scone like a bread would. So you take the scone to a level where it's just mixed, then you can put your sultanas in, your walnuts, your cherries, whatever you want to throw in there. Bacon, I've seen. Bacon and onion in a scone, in a savoury scone's delicious. So what you do is you mix it to a level, which I'll show you, and I'm actually going to cheat and use this thing here. And what I'm going to do is get the ingredients together. What we've got is the flour goes straight in. Can't remember the recipe. 500 gram. Butter, I think it's 80 gram. 80 grams of butter. 80 grams of sugar. Straight in. 25 grams. Getting good at this. Picked it up now. Straight in. And then I need some eggs. I think it's 2 eggs. It's the easiest recipe in the world. And one of the easiest ones to mess up as well. 2 eggs straight in. Okay, your eggs are in there. Everything's in there except for your milk, which is 250 mil. Okay, that goes in there. And I'm using a dough hook. You don't want to use a blade. Once you use a blade, it'll cut into the dough too quick and it'll mix it too much, so a hook is more controllable. So use a hook when you're doing anything quite delicate. So what we're going to do is gently start on a slow. And drip feed in your milk. Basically, if you're in a bowl, that's all you'll be doing with your hands, just gently bringing it together. It feels a bit dry still. I'm trying not to overmix it. It's literally just bringing all the ingredients together. Okay. I think I'll do a sultana one. Just adding a few sultanas in there. That's it. I don't trust it anymore. I'll do it all by hand. But it's a basic mitt, and it's very wet. It's the best way to make it, to be honest. Just take that off there. Tip this out. Some flour. I haven't made scones for 2 days, 3 days. A little bit of flour on the top. Gently, I'm not kneading it, I'm not stretching it, I'm not going to give it lots of pummeling. I'm literally just going to mess around with it. It's pretty much there, actually. Just gently. It's called chaffing. It's a nice and light way of kneading. You can see how smooth that's got. So what we do, we'll flatten down this really lightly, really gently. Get a baking tray, and what paper do you use on here? Silicone. Greaseproof, actually, and that feels like greaseproof. Actually, that side feels like silicone. Silicone paper doesn't stick. Greaseproof, when you're making or baking, certainly with baking, sticks. Don't use it. Use baking parchment or silicone paper. Okay, so you've got basic paper. You have a lovely dough here. Get a rolling pin, roll it out. Oh, this is hard work. All this baking lark. It's very simple. It's got a bit of air in it already. It's quite active. Just gently pat it round. And the reason why I'm patting it round and drawing it back in as I flattened it is mainly because it's actually, if I cut it when I've rolled it out, it just springs back. So I'm just relaxing the dough, taking it back in again. I'll use the 5-star way of cutting scones, which is that way. We never cut scones with that. We always cut scones with the flat end because we think it's posher. How ridiculous is that? Okay, so we gently press, cut into your hands well, and then you take as many as you can off the first run. I've got, probably get another row. Now they look quite nice. Lovely. Nice. I will leave them to one side for a second. Okay. I'll leave that elsewhere. Now you can actually roll that one out again and use it again, but I wouldn't use any more than twice because you're using strong flour. It makes it too glutinous and too rubbery, so you can't actually use it. Second time, no problem. Third, forget it. Bit overkill for one egg, but never mind. Okay. At this stage, pink brush, I've never seen one of those before. What I'm going to do is carefully brush the top of the scone, making sure you don't get too much dripping down the side, because what that does is it actually stops it from rising. Beautiful. Like so. Leave that for a minute. Okay, pop those in and see what happens. Right, we'll look at them in about an hour and a half. Okay. Look how light. Yeah, I'll come up and try that. You don't have to eat it, but just feel it and feel how light it is. Made with a bread flour. It's quite light. Oh yeah. How you can tell a scone's done. Just bring it out and crack it open. Just crack one open and see if it stretches. It's not quite done. Give it another couple of minutes, but don't give it 5 minutes. If it just breaks, it's ready. I'd give myself 6 out of 10 for them. Thank you very much indeed.